Hi everyone, welcome to Cache Walks.
Today our cache walks are revolved around Warsaw. We're in Warsaw at the moment, and they're going to be related to the Warsaw Uprising in World War II.
So come and see what we can find. Our Airbnb apartment was right on the Old Town Market Square. We headed out to see the sights and find out more about the Warsaw Uprising.
In 1944, the people of Warsaw rose up against the German army who were occupying their city. The uprising was timed to coincide with the retreat of the German forces from Poland ahead of the Soviet advance. Although the Red Army was close by, on Stalin's orders it did not come to help. After 63 days of fighting, the Polish resistance were defeated.
Himmler's orders explicitly stated that Warsaw was to be completely destroyed and that the civilian population was to be exterminated. Tens of thousands were killed and the city destroyed. All the buildings you see here were rebuilt after being systematically destroyed by the Nazis in World War II.
In the centre of the rebuilt Old Town Square is the Mermaid of Warsaw. It's a symbol of Warsaw and is represented on the city's coat of arms.
Our first cache was located near Sigismund's Column. The column was erected in 1644 and is one of Warsaw's most famous landmarks. On the 1st of September, during the Warsaw Uprising, the monument's column was demolished by the Germans and its bronze statue was badly damaged. Good, nice log, and it's a nice little bit of swag in there. We're going to add a little palm tree, and because it's a special place for us, we're going to put in our little Kiwi pub tag.
Then it was on to see St John's Cathedral. In 1944, the cathedral was a place of struggle between the insurgents and German army. The Germans put a tracked mine vehicle loaded with explosives into the cathedral. A huge explosion destroyed large part of the building. After the collapse of the uprising, the German destruction detachment drilled holes into the walls for explosives and blew up the cathedral, destroying 90% of its walls. There are memorials throughout the cathedral to those who gave their lives during World War II. There are many shops in the old town selling beautiful Baltic amber jewellery. We counted 6 close to our apartment. Then it was on to see a statue commemorating the child soldiers who fought and died during the Warsaw Uprising of 1944. The statue is of a young boy wearing a helmet too large for his head and holding a submachine gun. The helmet and submachine gun are stylized after the German equipment, which was captured during the uprising and used by the resistance fighters against the occupying forces.
Throughout Warsaw we passed many memorial plaques. This one is a memorial to 50 people shot here by the Nazis in 1944. This plaque commemorates the explosion of a Goliath-tracked mine vehicle that demolished the walls of the cathedral. We then went to a cache with many did not finds, just in case it had been replaced, but no luck here. The cache was near a memorial to a group of scouts who successfully fought here to release their scoutmaster from the hands of the Gestapo. In retaliation, the Nazis shot 140 prisoners. The emblem of the Polish underground state and home army can be seen in many places throughout Warsaw. The initials PW stand for We Shall Avenge Wawa, the first large-scale massacre of Polish civilians by German troops. Over time it came to symbolize the phrase Fighting Poland. Here you can see it superimposed over the Scouts emblem.
We then headed to this amazing memorial which shows a group of insurgents actively engaged in combat, running from collapsing building. The smaller sculpture shows insurgents descending into a manhole, a reference to the use of Warsaw's sewer system by insurgents to move across German-held territory during the uprising, and specifically to the evacuation of over 5,000 resistant fighters from Warsaw's old town to the city centre. We had a favourite restaurant in Warsaw, tucked away, just off this old city's main square. The restaurant is known for Polish country cooking. We tried interesting dishes like rice soup with mushrooms, served in bread, with white sausage and hard-boiled egg, and rendered duck breast under a cherry sauce. Yum!
Then it was off to see the Warsaw Uprising Museum. The museum opened in 2004 and has interesting displays. We spent around 2 hours here. The Grey Ranks was a code name for the underground paramilitary group made up of members of the Polish Scouting Association.
Wanda was a 17-year-old Girl Scout killed in a bombardment of a house. Jan joined the Scouts' assault groups. He wrote about 500 poems about the German occupation and perished on the 4th day of the uprising. Danuta joined the Union for Armed Struggle. She was shot while trying to tend to the wounds of 2 insurgents.
Then it was on to see St. Barbara's Church and its geocache. The church witnessed heavy fighting during the Warsaw Uprising. After the fall of the uprising, Nazi authorities expelled the clergy and worshippers and blew up the building. The destruction was heavy, as only the foundations and basement survived. From 1946, the church was gradually rebuilt.
The gate to the garden was locked, but a man gardening there said we could jump over, so we did. There were small shrines throughout the garden. Here we are approaching ground zero. Now where would you hide the cache?
Well, this brings us to the end of our cache walk. We hope you found it interesting. Must have been quite a time here in Warsaw and some very, very brave people. So thanks for watching.
And don't forget to go geocaching.